Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen back there. Thank you for coming along. Have you had a good time at Freeness this weekend?
Yes.
I think I better just leave this door open because. Sorry, shut this off. Too many people in there. You can't come in. I'm sorry. Come on. Yes. Everybody having a good weekend?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Before I introduce myself and before I start, was you wondering, how many of you have been to, I suppose, a workshop or an event like this before? Anyone? Just you? 2?
Yeah.
All right, brilliant. Now what I want to do is basically just create a nice atmosphere in it before we start, because I've got 45 minutes to provide you with lots of tips, and when you leave here today, that will significantly increase your chances of finding the right partner. I'm going to focus more on the men because there's only one guy in it, but for the right partner. So what I'd like to do is, can everybody just stand up, please? Okay. Moving on this side, I want you to look on the other side. Just find 3 people that you don't know in this room. Introduce yourself, and just introduce yourself. Say hi, and just tell them where you come from. Right? Go. Sure. Thank you. Thank you. When I say explain why you think we're singing. Okay, you're warmed up now. Right, brilliant. Now, I'm just going to talk about what I do and why I've been doing it for about a minute or two. Then we can get into what we need to do. I came out of a very painful divorce in 2007. I got married in 2005, and I got married in 2005, and unfortunately got divorced in 2007. I won't go into the ins and outs of it, but it's a very, very, very painful experience. You'll find out about it when I bring up my book and stuff like that as well. I was very angry, hated my wife. There's a lot of things that she did that wasn't very nice. How many of you have been in that situation where you reflect back on some of your exes and you think, I wish I didn't really meet him or her? It was just me, right? Most of us in the room. So I was in that place, but what happened was I started studying life coaching, and I was receiving counselling at the same time. What I realised was that I had to take responsibility for my actions and the choices I made, because I couldn't make her wrong if I chose her. Does that make sense? One second. Yeah, does that make sense? So once I stopped, I didn't want to look at myself. Does that make sense? Because when you're in that place where you want to make the person wrong, the reason why we want to make the other person wrong is because it makes us feel right. And it gives us that power. And then what happens then, we just carry on that in future relationships without even taking responsibility. And when I was reading a lot of these books, it was around about the time when The Secret came out. Remember The Secret? Yeah. And it was making me feel good. It was making me realise, and I started reading up, and I was realising, wow, I chose her. No matter what went on, I chose her. And even if I felt disrespected in the marriage and things were not going my way, I chose to stay. Does that make sense? So when I had clients and they come to me and they're angry and they want to kill their partner or whatever, I have the tools now and the experience to guide them into a place of forgiveness, peace, and looking within themselves. Does that make sense? Because if you're angry and you're taking a lot of stuff with you, you're going to carry it from relation to relation without you realizing it. So the first thing you need to do, you need to identify who you are, what you want, and what is preventing you from getting there. And there's some of you that have been speaking to me this weekend, I don't know why I keep meeting the wrong men, and da-da-da-da-da. It's got nothing to do with the men. It always starts with who? Yourself. And once you start to identify that, and you get it, your life will start to change. And I'm talking from experience and people that I've been working with. And there's things that you can do to help you. There's books out there, there's YouTube on loads of information on how you can improve your life in a relationship setting. So then I started to work with women, and I started to apply what I learned from coaching. I qualified as a coach, and I was receiving counselling at the same time as the coaching, because my mum passed away in 2003, and I was dealing with the bereavement, and also it was the same counsellor that was helping us with our marriage. So I've been still seeing her up until now. I still see her up to 2 months ago. So what's happened is, with a combination of me, if you can just picture this, I was in that state where I was just all over the place, to studying life coaching and receiving counselling at the same time. So what then happened then, I got over the pain by about 5 times than the average person. And then on top of that, when I'm working with clients, I'm still learning myself. Does that make sense? Yeah, so that's why a lot of you, some people have asked me, oh, what are your qualifications, and are you a counsellor, you got a degree? No, I've just basically studied something, had a knack of helping people to achieve their goals, and that's what I've been doing. So some of you, if you're looking for somebody with letters after the name, that's not me. But if you want instant, quick results, that is me. Okay? So I'm just going to go over 13 secret ways now you can find and attract the right partner for you. A lot of these have been used by some of my clients. Some have worked and some haven't. Some of them you're going to see, you're going to think, no way, you're going to think I'm crazy. I've got loads more, but some of them you're going to think, actually, I'm going to use that. I didn't look at it that way. Okay? If you want to ask me any questions, please interact. No heckling. Not until after 2:30. Actually, 1 second. How many of you have been married before? Hands up those who've been married before. What? Put it up. Okay. And are you okay with your ex-husband?
Sorry?
Are you okay with your ex-husband now?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, better than Patrick Longtime.
His head. Sorry, what was that? I'm very natural on time.
In his head.
Yes, I can definitely relate to that. Right. You love technology, eh? Right. Right. There we go. I won an award 2 years ago. Basically, it was the Association of Professional Coaches, Trainers and Consultants, and basically it's an organisation that has all life coaches all over the UK, and I won that in 2013. So I'm not sharing that to boast, because I'm not really that type of person, but just to share with you what can be achieved from where I was, what I told you was before, to where I am now. This was my first wedding. She's from Ghana and he's Jamaican. And she was a client of mine, and she had 5 sessions with me. And I found her, I contributed to finding her husband, and they got married last year, and I was the only one allowed to make a speech at their wedding. So that was a good experience. I'm bringing out my book, called I Can Find You the Right Man. That's coming out. My book launches in June the 20th in Heathrow. So there'll be a book launch, there'll be an after party, and it's a black tie event, so keep in touch if you want to be invited to that. So let's go through the secrets. Pardon? Yeah, there will be. There will be, because I'm a qualified driving instructor as well, and I used to play football. So there's going to be tables of footballers and tables of male driving instructors as well. So that's at least 20. That's mentioned, but there will be men there, but the majority, I suppose, will be women. So step number one. One of the things that most women do, most people do, they look in the wrong places. Now, you need to identify the type of partner that you require in your life, and where's this type of person more likely to hang out?
At work or social events.
Where if you want a business person, he's not going to really be at a club every weekend, for argument's sake. I know it sounds simple, but there's some people that go to clubs week in, week out, expecting to find the husband, the type of man that you're looking for, and he's less likely going to be at that place. But some of you, hands on those of you that know club, just me? Yeah. Yeah. Or you used to do it back before? Yeah. But you've got friends that you can say, but she goes out every week in, week out, choosing the wrong men, going through the same problems because she keeps meeting them at the same places and keeps going back there. And what happens is, they don't know where else to go. They don't know about these other events that are available. So when clients come to me, I would say, okay, you're looking for a business guy. I know where the professional business singles events are. So what I do is I actually tell them where to go, or I actually go with them and accompany them there. So basically what happens then, let's say for example, you liked this, say, maybe that's a gentleman there. I know you're not, you know.
I might be looking for a woman, you never know.
Just for this exercise, my dear. Please, just for the exercise, and you filmed as well. So basically what would happen then is that if she says to me, oh, I like that guy over there, right? So I've come along there. You, as far as you're concerned, you may think that I'm with her. So what then happens then, I guarantee all my clients that I will start speaking to him for you and make a conversation happen. But he won't know I'm your coach. So I'll make it very subtle. And by repetition, can you imagine coming out with myself, and every man that you like, you could be in the corner, you could be over there, I guarantee that you will communicate to him. So I'm fast tracking it. Does that make sense? That's why a lot of my clients are meeting, they're getting loads of dates.
Sorry, just a quick question. Initially, what she's looking for then is a visual. You don't know anything about the person, what their background, what their qualifications or anything. So it's just an initial attraction.
Yeah, initial attraction. So it's all the men you like the look of, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
And then you need to have a plan in place of what to ask him. That's what I work with you as well. You need to ask him certain questions in the first stages. One key tip, if you meet a man that you like, ask him where does he see himself in 3 to 5 years, what are your goals? And just be quiet. Because he will tell you about himself at that point. Now, if you want to get married and get settled down, and he doesn't say anything that's compatible with those values and beliefs and goals, run a mile. So if you've got a plan and you want to get married in 3-5 years, and he says, I just want to go away with my boys and have a good time and travel, and doesn't mention anything about getting settled and serious, and you carry on seeing him, whose fault's that?
Yours.
But as you know, we've all done that before, all of us, including myself, and others have done it as well. And then what happens is they keep going for a pattern, and then they wonder why they keep meeting the wrong partners. Does that make sense? So, I would say think of the last 3 places you went and consider, are there any other places that you can go? There's exhibitions. There's a website called meetup.com, okay? Meetup.com, and they will list all the events, some are free, where like-minded people go to that in your area. It's global as well. So if you're in London, there will be an event in London. So let's say, for example, you're interested in the business, as you said, there'll be business singles, professional singles events. There's even one in London on February the 27th, linked with Meetup. And it's free. So check that out as well, okay? Was that helpful? Yeah? Listen to negative friends and allowing them to influence you. This plays some of you laugh to say, oh God, how do you know that? We've all been there, okay? We've been the one that's been negative. I mean, how many of you entertained a conversation with one of your female friends and she's tearing her man to pieces and you've entertained that? Just me? 2. So all of you have never ever said anything negative to none of your female friends about a man. And then you're like, right. We've all been.
I'm not saying if someone's saying something horrible about the partner, you join in. In fact, I'd probably say, well, what have you done, you know?
Well, you must be 1 in a million that will do that. But I think some people, I'll refer to women, some women have female friends that if they're in that place where they're just negative and don't want to heal, they feed off that friend's negativity. So they both feed off that, if that makes sense. And that doesn't have a positive impact on you because you're taking that around with you, and then when the right men come to meet you, they'll pick up on that vibe straight away. Clued up guys will pick up on that negativity. But if you're one of those ones which, well, this is what I was saying, take advice from those who are living the life that you want to live, or that are talking sensibly, and she's right. If a negative friend was coming to her and saying to her, oh, he did this and she hates him and all this kind of stuff, try and get her to look within herself. But what usually happens is, some of your friends, if they know you're going to say that, wouldn't come to you. They go to the one that's going to be telling her she's right. Does that make sense? Remember I said in the beginning, we want to be told that we're right. When I was going through crap, I had a certain friends I used to ring, I used to slate off my wife, and 2 hours on the phone, yeah, she did that, and he's slating her, then he's talking about his ex, and you feel really good about it. When you put down the phone, you're tired, knackered, especially before bed. You know, you do it before bed, before you go to sleep, you have a really rough sleep. So try and surround yourself with people that are more on a positive nature, if you can. You're surrounded by friends who are single or not in serious relationships. Everybody in the room now, your best friend, hands up those of you whose best friend is single. Everyone's taking their time putting a hand up. Has anybody got any friends in here? So the majority of you, your best friend is single, yeah? Right. So if you're going through some serious issues and stuff and you want to talk to somebody, they are the people you most probably would confide in. They're your best friend, yeah? You bring up and, okay. Especially to do with relationships. Let me ask you a question. Some of the advice they've given you, think about it, some of the advice they've given you, because we all have friends that do things that we would never do, but they're telling you what you should and you shouldn't do. But I bet if you think for about 30 seconds, what wouldn't you do that they've done in the past? Whether it's to do with a relationship, whether it's to do with finances, things that they've done that you would never have done. Something could come to you because you're not going to be exactly the same as your friend. I guarantee that. Okay? Potential partners do not approach you because of the vibe you send out. Has anybody said to you that you have a certain aura or vibe that you send out?
Yeah.
Is that negative or yeah? I won't say what she. Can I tell them what you said to me?
Yeah, you can say it.
What did you say again?
I said, I'm single, I like being single, I'm independent, I don't need a man.
Lovely.
That was in the first minute of meeting him.
Now, let's say, for example, she is lovely, but let's say I was interested in her. Would that draw me to want to?
No.
I'll be running so fast, I'll be pulling my hamstring. But the thing is, and also, I could have had a friend of me here that weekend, and she hasn't met him, but she likes him, and he's told me that. What do you think I'm going to say to him?
Keep away.
You see? So.
But people don't often say what they actually mean.
Yeah.
I know that. It's a protection thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because deep down, I know that lovely lady wants a nice guy. You all want a nice guy.
It's a bit like the guy saying, I don't want to be married in 3 or 5 years, and within 5 minutes we sell the marriage. So.
But you only can go by what he said to you on the first instance, can't you?
Yeah.
You don't have time to sit there trying to figure out if he wants to, because you could be meeting men that want to do that with you. Does that make sense? Yeah? So, tip with that. Have I upset you? Because you're leaving.
That's it, had enough.
Not enough. I'm going to complain. That's right. So, Ask friends and family to be frank and communicate what vibe and energy you send out when you enter the room. Those people that are close to you, just ask them, you know, what vibe do I send out?
Can I just ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
You're talking about taking personal responsibility. People know, if you take personal responsibility, you know what's right to send out because you are doing it to send it out.
Yes, but some people are not aware of that. So what about the ones that are not aware of it? You said, you know, you get what I'm saying, yeah? You understand? Yes. But believe me, a lot of people don't get that. Seriously. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes. You're fine, you're clued up. I understand, you get what I'm saying. But believe me, there's people that don't have a clue. There's people that keep making the same mistakes time and time and time again and don't have a clue. So what I'm saying is if those people that are having that, ask people that are close around them to give them feedback. And then they can say, do you know something? I wasn't even aware of that. Does that make sense? Yeah?
Sometimes they hit
Pardon?
spotted that sometimes the closest person to you in family know exactly what they're talking about and they hit the nail on the head and
That's
you
right.
still can't hear it.
Oh, you don't want to hear it.
You don't want
Maybe
to
some
hear
of us don't want to ask because we don't want to hear the truth. But it's only way you're going to grow, it's the only way you're going to learn about yourself. Remember I said at the beginning, you need to identify yourself and understand yourself, first of all. And once you understand you know exactly what you're going out there to look for. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Yes. Thank you for the contribution, by the way.
That's what I'm going to give you more later.
Yeah. Just go easy on me. That's my first quality child.
Don't worry, there should be gentle.
Take time with me, man. Be aware that there is more competition out there and it's not all about you. Okay? The main what's happening is that you have that amount percentage of single women, right? And then the men that you're all competing for, yeah. So yeah, actually. So what's gonna happen? Do you know something? I should have split you up. I'm usually on the ball with that. I should have split you up. There's always a little corner, and then I've got to bring one of them up and tear it to pieces and make her feel embarrassed. Sorry.
So basically what you're saying is there's more single women than there is single men.
Yes.
Is there, or is it just that you're just closing yourself off to the single men that are around?
Statistically, that's
Yeah.
bad.
Why do you think some women marry the men that you want and some don't? Those women that have married and settled down, most of them, their focus is that's what their focus is. Now, I know some of you are career-driven women. If that's what you're focusing on, which is fantastic, that's what you're going to get. Because what you focus on is what you're going to get. And there are some women that focus on their career so much, 24/7, they don't understand about themselves, they don't learn about themselves, they don't understand to even think about understanding men, because some people just think it's just going to happen like that. He's going to find me and we're going to be happily ever after. It doesn't work like that. So what then happens then is they're focused so much on their career, they've got the money, they've got the house, they've got the car, all those kind of things, which is fine. And then when they get to their late 30s or early 40s or whatever that age is, the biological clock starts ticking, starts getting worried, and they're most probably just settle for somebody that they most probably wouldn't have gone for like 10 years ago. And what's happening is their balance hasn't been their career as well as working on themselves, as well as actively trying to find somebody. So they're so focused on their career, and then what happens is what you focus on is what you become. So those of you that leave it, if you just say, I'm going to focus on my business, more than likely your business will be successful, but that's all you're going to get. But if you're focusing on your business as well as going to dating events and actively trying to find somebody, increasing your chances, you're more likely to strike the balance. Does that make sense?
But wouldn't the same apply to men in which case?
Yes.
Or is it that women aren't afforded the same courtesy to
The reason why I'm focusing on women, because it's the majority of women in the room. So it would work with the men as well.
No, but I'm saying, you were saying that there was a smaller percentage of single men.
Yeah.
But surely the dilemma must exist within the male population as well, because men focus on their careers.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I can relate to that. That's what you're saying exactly.
Yeah.
From a men's point of view.
Yeah.
I can relate, yeah, definitely.
But it's not, with us men, there's not as much pressure on us as it is for women. The main thing is the clock, and also the perception if you don't, biological clock.
Yeah, no, I keep hearing this word about biological clock, but I don't Don't get it.
Do you understand what that means?
Your
She
child
knows
really
what
is.
it means, she's not interested.
Okay. No. Talk to me about that.
That's
Can I
another
interest-
seminar.
Yeah, it's another seminar. Talk to me about that after.
Yeah, but with us, it's better, we've got a lot more choice.
So
We've
there's
got
more-
more women, obviously.
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
You guys, you get to certain age, but you kind of think, oh, I'm going to get married or whatever, you're running out of time, I don't know. But
I'll give you, that's right, I'll give you another scenario. I'm 44 and I want more children. Okay? Yeah, yeah. Right? But a woman at my age, most women wouldn't want to do that. Does that make sense? So it's easier for me. That's why there's so much pressure on women to get it
But
sorted.
this is a guy's perception, and that's why most guys don't want girls their own age. I'm 44, because they want someone
Younger.
because
Yeah.
they think that women don't want children. Yet we see women are having children later in life nowadays.
But there are some women, because of that age, are finding it harder to conceive as well. So as a man, you know, I'm 44, and if I was looking, and I've got a woman that's 44, and I've got a woman that's 34, I'm more than likely going to go for the woman that's 34. That's my personal experience, and I think a lot of men would feel that way as well.
But also for women, if you think about women that have got a career but they have been married before and they've got children, you then have that obviously dilemma of, I'm busy with my career, I have a child or children, so do I want to go dating and obviously meet different men when I actually want to put my input into business and my children?
And it's hard.
So we, I think, there's more sacrifices, whereas men, it's they
It's a lot
work
easier.
and then they've got more free time.
It's a lot easier. It's a lot easier. Unfortunately, but don't blame me. That's how it is. That's how it is. You need to be confident the right person for you does exist. How many of you now really feel that you're going to meet the right person? Really?
If you choose to.
Do you choose to?
If you choose to be the right person.
Right. So the rest of you are thinking, well, I may do, I may not. I'm giving up. I can't be asked. If it happens, it happens. So you're walking around there, if I meet someone, I meet someone, I don't. And then you're walking towards this guy that's thinking you're absolutely stunning, and what's the message you're sending to him? Not interested. Do you know how many attractive women us men see, and you're most probably sending out that vibe without even realising it, and you're not smiling, but everybody in the room just smile a minute. Now some of you are struggling. Right, how do you feel when you do that? If you smile, ladies, if you smile, the message that you're sending out to the guy is what?
You're interested.
You're interested. Thank you. I'm glad I got one guy in there. Believe me, if I'm coming. If I, and that's your last question, by the way. You've been receiving the credit. But on a serious note, right? If you see a man walking towards you and he's smiling, he's walking towards you, and you like him, are you more likely to want to communicate to him?
Yeah.
If he's walking to you and he's looking angry and aggressive, are you really going to feel that you're going to want to speak to him? But what happens is, ladies, that you don't have any idea of the message you're sending out to men that you like. Some of you are sending out a message that you're if you see a guy that you like the look of, let's say you're shopping in a supermarket and he's walking towards you, and you like him, the first thing you're going to be thinking is, oh my God, is he going to speak to me? He's nice. All these negative things that you're telling yourself, oh, he's lovely, and all these kind of things, and you start getting nervous, don't you? Right?
He could be married.
You know, all these, you're not going to be interested in me. Oh my God, is my hair nice? Have I got shoes on? Oh my God, I've got my curlers on and my scarf when he comes to get some milk. We've been there. And then, what happens then, when you see him or he sees you, you're telling a message to him, go away. I'm not interested. I've got a lot of things going on. I see them walking around, and they've got things. They're thinking about things. Okay. And I'm not saying this is where some women get perceived of giving out an attitude, but they're thinking about things. He might be thinking about work, or did I sort out the kids' clothes for school or whatever? And you're thinking of those things, and then this guy that's just adorable is walking towards you, but the message you're sending him is, don't even talk to me. But you don't realise that. You're not aware of it because you're just in that zone. If you was fully aware and started working on yourself a lot more, I get clients when they come out the shower, come out the bath, put on the makeup, they're telling themselves they're positive, they're happy, they love themselves on a continuous basis to the point where it's so automatic when they come out, they're sending out this radiant energy to draw men to speak to them. So I guarantee you start going out to that place and you see a man that you like, and you start, sorry, what's that?
They'll be scared.
Yeah, there's that as well. But you must think positively, especially when doubt creeps in. And you are in control of your thoughts, nobody else. As the lady who, I've told her not to say anything for the rest of the I'm only joking, by the way. But you have the control over your thoughts. And one of the things that I learned from coaching that was so profound, and I thought to myself, wow, was that I'm in full control of my thoughts. Nobody makes you think a certain way. If I poured water in your face like that, you choose how you want to react. Whether you want to curse me, swear, slap me, or you might just want to wipe it off and just walk out. But she has that choice. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Now that's easier said than done, as I know. But by working on yourself, continuous, when things happen to you, if you're aware, actually I'm in control of this, I'm going to choose to react this way, and you keep doing that on a daily basis, what happens then is when negative things kick in, you can manage it. Does that make sense? Unrealistic expectations. What are your 3 top things that you must have from your next relationship? And ask yourself, why are these things so important to you? Now what I want you to do is turn to the person next to you and just say, what is the must-have, top 1 thing that you must have from your next relationship? Just turn to the person next to you for 30 seconds. Okay, right. Now, what I want you to now think about is, where have these preferences come from? Why is it that? Okay, right, think about that. Go back to the other person and say, okay, the reason why I've said number 1 is this, is because it's because of that. Sure. Next person, 30 seconds again. Where does it come from? Are they associated with your ex, partners, family, or your past? What do you think?
Honestly, it's not just me.
Keep sharing. Okay, right. Thank you. Right. So, has anybody learned anything there, or did anybody share the same thing, similar thing? Different, yeah. So does this make you see that everyone's got stuff going on? Yeah, everyone's got stuff going on. Who said that their preferences were linked to their ex? The preferences linked to their ex. See where it was. Okay, brilliant. Ex, yeah? Past, family, experience, I won't go into that, but yeah. So do you see that, is the top thing you're looking for still the same? Or now you're thinking, actually, is it that? Or I didn't realise it was linked to that, but now I linked it to that. It's not actually the top one, because the top one is actually because of that, but it may be something else. Does that make sense? No?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Oh.
Yeah, because you're...
You're not saying
One more time. The door's over there. Right, does that make sense? So, can these preferences be amended slightly to increase your chances? These preferences that the issues that you found that you've had that's made you choose that, has that possibly been preventing you from moving on? Or has it hindered you in your relationships in the past?
I think like what I want is the basics of all relationships anyway.
Which are?
It's just empathy and loyalty. That's all. I think that should be in all relationships. You know, not asking for the moon. Really?
There's not a wrong or right way, because everyone's different. I mean, whose top expectations are different to this lady's here? See, everyone's different. There's not a wrong or right way. It's just your way. Yeah. Personal development. What personal development have you undertaken over the last 12 months? What I mean by personal development, this is personal development here. You've come here to see me today to develop yourself and find out how you can understand yourself and increase your chances of finding the right partner. Have you attended a workshop, seminar, or a class? Has anybody attended any? How many of you attend workshops like this? Oh, let me ask another question. Is this the first type of workshop you've been like this on dating before? Hands up, those of you, it's the first time. Right.
But there is YouTube.
Of course. And it's free.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can watch it on your phone.
That's right.
And it's free. So there's no excuse. Is there an excuse?
No, we can't ask questions.
Yeah. But should I last week now? That's no more. There's always one. Everyone, there's always one. And I've got a bag out there with some masking tape. That's cool. So, up until now, has it been useful to date, what I've been saying? Yeah? Thought-provoking. Brilliant. So, please, try and attend some events in your area. You can go on YouTube. I'm bringing out some YouTube clips. I'm going to elaborate on these. There's about 50 of them I want to bring out. And for yourself, just you should be surprised what you learn. I know there's a majority of women in here, but sometimes understanding men, and I know some of the things we do, you think, oh, why does he do that? Why does he keep doing that? And we're just setting our ways just like you're setting our ways. And sometimes if you just looked at it in a different way and just understand it, that's how we are. I know sometimes when we get upset and we get annoyed with you, we disappear or we shut off. That's how our brain's wired. And I'll be honest with you, 10 times out of 10, we don't even know what's going on. Oh, please.
Do you not think the biggest problem is communication? Talking.
Yes.
A lot of things are going on now with texting.
Well, this is what I'm saying. The point I'm saying is if we both, on both sides, understood how we react in stressful situations, like for example, when we come in from work, we've had a long day, the woman, ladies, you want to talk about your problems to us straight away, and you want us to talk. We don't want to talk because we can't even, our brain can't take any more. So what then happens then, we need that time to wind down, but you want to talk. So what then happens then is, you feel rejected, we get stressed, and there's an argument over something that's got nothing linked to what the initial problem was. And then it escalates, especially on a Friday, the whole weekend's damaged because of that. Well, if he says to you, like as he rightly said, when I come in from work, if I'm stressed, just give me half an hour or whatever I need to do just to wind down. It may mean that he needs to have a shower or have something to eat, and then I can deal with you and the kids or whatever. If the woman needs to communicate to him, for example, if you're stressed, you need to communicate to him, look, when I'm stressed, I need to speak to you, because when I cannot communicate to you, I feel rejected. Don't blame him, but there's a way of communicating it. That way, he doesn't want to know that you're feeling rejected, and then you can communicate how to manage that situation. Does that make sense? Just one thing like that, because when we're stressed, believe me, we need that time to go away and work it out, and then we come back. That's how we are. I do that all the time.
But there are some guys who are just not good communicators. I know that there are women who are not good communicators either, but a lot of these
These.
A lot of guys tend to take their sort of relationship behaviour from their parents. And if their parents were not great communicators, particularly their fathers, they in turn are not going to be good communicators. I mean, I've been out with guys who barely say 3 words.
Yeah.
And
However,
it's terrible.
back to what I said before, those men that you've been out with or you dated, she chose them.
All right.
Sorry. All right. But on a serious note, I bet she doesn't trouble me for the rest of the day. But on a serious note, I totally get that. But like I said before, if we reflect back on our relationships, all of us, and I bet if we went back and thought, think of your worst relationship that we had, and you look the first 3 to 6 months, the signs were there from in those 3 to 6 months, weren't they? The signs were there, there's certain things that occurred, that happened, and we chose to just ignore it. And what we do is we minimize the importance of it, but deep down we know. You know, like you said, you can't communicate to them, for example. Deep down you know, and then when it all gets all messy and crazy at the end, when you like with me, I reflect back on my divorce. The signs were there in the first 2-3 months. It just hits me now. Like sometimes even this morning, oh God, yes, that happened, and we've all had that experience. When we come out of it and we reflect back, what was I doing with him or her? Or, you know, what did I? And I knew, and then you know. Once you understand the reasons why you entertained that, and you understand it, you can then move on and not make the same mistake again in the future. So yes, if you can establish in the early stages that this person cannot communicate to you, and that's one of the most important things, then move on. Because you can't, as my mum used to say, you can't be wrong and strong.
That's right.
And I'm talking about, yeah? So what?
But then you get the other story where the girls say they don't want to be one because they stay with the devil they know, or whatever the saying is. Or they're scared to go out and find them, man.
Yeah, but we've all been there. We've all been there where we stayed in the wrong relationship for a longer period of time because of fear, because what people are going to think is another damaged relationship. It could be that this one is perceived to be better than the previous one that was bad. All these things. So you might as well just stay put. He gets on well with my child, so I'm going to stay there because it's a good relationship. But he treats me bad, but he gets on with the child. So then we stack it all up, and then when we come out of it, we realise, God, I should have left him or her ages ago. And we've all been there. We minimise the importance. And when you minimise the importance of it, what then happens then is that problem doesn't seem like that to you. It minimises it there as well. So there's lots of dating experts out there, coaches. Just Google it. Join my, take all the information on there. Please join my newsletter. I'm usually sending out free tips on videos, YouTubes and stuff like that. Things that happen in your area. But surround yourself with like-minded, positive people as well. Do you love yourself? How many of you here don't love yourself? And who in here doesn't love themselves?
Doesn't, sorry.
Does not. Yeah? How much time do you devote to you? This weekend you're working on your health and your fitness, which is absolutely fantastic, and finding out tips on how to find the right guy. The other women have chosen to do something else. They're now, when they leave, they're not going to know all this information, especially about the men, how the men react and stuff. So you're ahead of the plan. But this is just one. Imagine if you kept learning about this stuff on a regular basis, you will reduce your chances of having a failed one. How would you describe you?
Single.
I'll tell you what, turn to the person next to you and describe one word, positive word that would describe yourself. Now. Hot. It's only AC now.
Yes.
Okay, I said one word.
That's the last one in my head.
Okay, now what do you love about yourself? Honestly, what do you love about yourself?
My persistence.
What I love about myself?
What do you love about yourself?
That I'm outspoken.
Anything else?
I'm tall.
Yeah?
I'm lovable. And I'm loved.
All right, give her a round of applause. And yourself? You don't want to say? One little thing you love about yourself.
Well, groups are fun.
You're funny.
Yeah.
Give her another round of applause. Get some of your job? No, I'm only joking. Thank you. So, please keep loving yourself, yeah? Because if you can't love yourself, you cannot give love out there to anybody else. It starts with yourself. So if you know that you can't, or you're feeling you can't push that forward, please start working on that. Dealing with your issues. How many of you in here does not have any issues apart from me? Any unresolved issues? Nothing at all? No? So everyone else has got some stuff going on. Yeah, because everyone's got issues. Exactly. Yeah.
Single. I don't have issues.
So we all have some unresolved issues. We've all got some stuff. Even myself, I've got some stuff. I'm still, for example, my mum passed away in 2003, and I'm still dealing with that. So that is going to have an impact on my relationships. Does that make sense? So I'm working on that.
Can I just say, I said I don't have any issues. I don't have major issues. Things, if there's an issue, you try and deal with it, or you try and work with it positively. And I think the person that I am, I'm very positive, and I try and turn it around so it doesn't become an issue. So, things like that.
No unresolved issues.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think, like you say, even resolved issues will resurface,
Yeah.
can't they? And they'll have
Of course they will.
another.
Okay, of course they will.
The nature of being a human being.
That's right. One way you can find out if you have any issues, ask, if I was to interview all your ex-partners, what they do. Yeah, but she's smiling, look at her. She's smiling, saying, I ain't got no issues. If I interview all your ex-partners and I say to them, what did you dislike about this lovely, positive, beautiful woman?
Cooking.
Whatever it is, right? That there will be a pattern there. Even myself, there will be a pattern there. Okay? And when I actually, I'll tell you what, we're all out of time. Turn the person next to you and say to them, what one negative thing would your ex say about you? Yeah, it's usually struggle with this one. So what would he say he hated about you? Your ex. And please be honest. Please be honest. What would he say he hated about you? Honestly. And if you try and figure it out, he disliked. What did he always used to complain about you about? He used to complain and complain and complain. He can't cook. For argument's sake. Argument's sake. I'm looking at you when I'm saying can't It's all good. It's all good. Okay. Right. Was you honest?
Yeah.
Okay. Who wants to share what you would say? Anybody?
Yeah, I feel like I'm always busy.
He said always busy on the go. Thank you. Anyone else?
Organised.
Commitment phobia.
Commitment phobia.
Yeah.
Was that what you mean? You're afraid to commit?
Yeah.
Do you know why that is? You haven't got to share it.
I don't know. No, I don't know.
Okay. Thank
I
you.
actually don't know.
Okay. Anyone else? Thank you.
Organised. Too organised.
You're too organised. You're a Virgo?
No.
You're not really organised. Thank you. Anyone else?
I always get them too fiery.
You're too fiery. Aries?
No, Sagittarius.
Okay. I just throw in the star signs.
What do you really believe
I
that
think,
nonsense?
I'm just trying to create some entertainment here. I'm only joking. I'm only creating
but Des, I think in our discussion, it's about whether or not we choose to accept
What the person
what the person has said. So you've chosen not to.
Of course.
They weren't right.
But but what did they say? What would you think they would say?
Oh, we know what they say.
Do you understand the question?
Yeah.
What did they say then? What do you think they would say?
My partner would say that I was controlling.
No way.
Yeah.
No way! You're joking! He's lying! He's lying!
He's lying! And things have been done correctly.
It's a round of applause for that. There's no way on this earth that I think that you would have said that about it. There's no way. You're quiet, you're not opinionated, you're lovely, you're fluffy, and you don't say anything. Anybody else? Yes, sorry, go on.
Now mine was, what was it?
What kind of...
Along the similar lines, actually.
No!
We're related to cousins.
Am I saying about the friends on
Too
there?
independent, I think it was, yeah. Too independent.
You never, you don't say. But isn't that interesting? You don't know this lady here, but
You all agreed.
she's going to give all you lot attitude for the rest of the weekend. Get off my mat! Okay, right. So, was that interesting? Just to do that exercise and share it, and because if you're not aware of that, then you're just going to be carrying on, and some of you are going to think, and no, you're not going to say anything. Oh my God, I didn't think about that. And every time I do the exercise with the exes, everybody, no one's ever done that before, and then it makes them think, actually, you know something, apart from those two over there. So that's good, thank you. Now avoid going out with large groups of friends when you go out, if you want to meet someone, okay? Because it's very intimidating to be approached. So some of you, if I'm making reference to the ladies, I know ladies, you go out in groups of 5, 6, 7, and you're over there in a corner, and expect the guy over there that you like, he can hardly see you, to come, go past your friends and say hello to you. And getting rejected is horrible.
Horrible.
Thank you.
He's a real man.
He's a real man. He's his army gear on.
That's right.
Hand grenade for your friends' backs. Jeez! You're the type of woman that we never come over and approach. There's no way. See now, come over. If he sees a man, he'll come over. That's right. You know, on a serious note, the funny thing about it is, they're 100% serious. That's the thing, they're serious. Let him come over to me. If he's that interested, he's coming over to me. And can you imagine the conversation when he gets there? Imagine like he's gone over there and he's like, oh God, I've gone over there because two of them's gone to the toilet. So now there's only 7, not 9. So I can go and approach her, and then can you imagine what you say to him when he gets there?
Yeah. We might be going for one of our friends, and they're the ones that are going to be saying, who are you?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. All of a sudden, her friend's dragging her to the toilet, to the ladies at that moment in time. And when they're going there, they don't be doing anything. I know. But seriously, when you're in large groups, the guys are less likely to come and approach you. Less likely. Cowards.
There's a few more over here. There's a few more over here.
Make sure you're clearly visible, because you're more likely to be approached. Go to the bar by yourself. Go to the cloakroom by yourself. Go to the cloakroom by yourself. If one of your friends smoke and you don't smoke, go outside of them just to talk to them outside, because it's more likely to come at them and strike a conversation.
I think you smoke them, but not want to smoke them.
No, not necessarily. He may come out there, seeing that you're out there, and talk to his mate that's smoking. There's always another way. Right, so you discreetly interview screening, right? Now, when you're going out on a date, so wrapping up very quickly. Now, when you're going out on a date, do you have a plan in place? No. For example, do you know what you want to know about him apart from does he work on?
Does he have a pulse?
Is he?
No, that's what she said.
But seriously, this is more important than your career. But you give your career 100%. You think about it. So remember, I said to you, one of the questions that you could ask him, prepare, is what are your goals in the next 3 to 5 years, and then he'll tell you. But you need to, if you know you're going to go out on a date and you're going to meet somebody, you need to be prepared of what you want to know about him and have it planned in a strategic way that he will not pick up that you're clued up. So for example, if you want to get married and settled, if you don't want to mention the word marriage or children or whatever, or you want to have a serious relationship, avoid that by just asking that one question: where do you see yourself in the next 3 to 5 years? What are you passionate about? Then he will just tell you. But also be prepared that he may ask you the question back. So does that make sense? So just try it, because some men struggle with it when you ask him that. You think, well, you can't. You would then say, you can't even answer that. Next. Next. Okay. If you have any positive thoughts and affirmations, now how many of you talk to yourself? Yeah?
Regular.
Regular. You said regular, you.
This one, no, don't keep it on me.
So what happens then is, are you telling yourself negative thoughts or positive thoughts? Try and work on the positive. If something that's negative, try and switch it. Ask yourself empowering questions like, what is good about this? How else could I look at this? Is it really as bad as it sounds? What's positive about it? Where does this come from? How can I improve this situation? And by asking yourself those empowering questions, you react differently. Your mind will react differently. And that takes practice. It's not going to happen overnight, because I've been doing this since I've been doing this coaching, and I do apply that. But if you don't apply it on a regular basis, you'll just be always reacting in the same way that you was doing before. So just devote 5 minutes of your time to this before you go to bed, and when you wake up in the morning. When you wake up in the morning, before you get out of bed, just program yourself and just tell yourself, what kind of day you want the day to be. I'm going to have a fantastic, positive day. I love myself. I'm going to have a great day at work, and you're sending out that positive energy. Right, so when I was married, I'm just wrapping up now, when I was married, and we was going through the last major problems in a relationship, and when you just know it's going to end, but you just a matter of when. And I was walking in Waterstones, and bearing in mind I was married, this is a sign, and I saw this book by Barbara DeAngelis called Are You the One for Me? Now, I find this book very interesting. Why is a married man in Waterstones picking up that book, and he's married for about 18 months or whatever it was, and was continually reading it every day in and day out? I was halfway through that book, and I realised I married the wrong one. But by then, the marriage was more or less over anyway. Remember, she kept saying to me, "Are you really engrossed in that book?" I thought, yeah, you have no idea what I know. What I've realised about myself. But I would suggest getting that, because when I read that book, I knew that I would be getting involved with relationships and dating stuff just by finishing reading that book. And that's what I do. Some of my events that's coming up, some of you may have had this. I'm hosting a dating and relationship conference on Saturday, March 25th at the Holiday Inn Hotel.
Where's that?
Heathrow.
Oh God, that's
Heathrow. Yeah. If you go to datingandrelationshipconferences.com or go to my website, desoconnors.com, you take this with you. It will take you to the website. I've got 6 of the best experts in the UK. Men are coming as well. So there should be about 150 people there. It's going to be a whole day event, and we're going to go over all what I've been going over and a lot more. It's not a singles event, so if you're in a relationship, you can attend to that as well. I strongly recommend if you can attend to that. It's only £20, £19.97, and the tickets are going very quickly at the moment. It's all going over social media as well. Also, I'm also having an Academy of Relationship Coaching, and what I'm doing is I'm training up people to be relationship experts to come on board my my team where I'm setting up conferences and training up people to do all what I'm doing and more. It's all listed on there, what you're going to be getting as well. If you want to create your own dating events in your area, if you want to possibly get on the media, the radio, the TV, write your own book, all of that or more. If you're interested in that, then just have a word with me after when I'm finished. I have a DVD, like I said on downstairs before. It's called 21 Secret Steps on How to Find and Attract the Right Man. It's on my website for £60, which is selling. But for today, I'm going to be selling them for £25. However, I'm going to give one away free to someone in the room. Who wants it? Right. What I'm going to do. There's always one person in the room that can't shut up. Like, he's always got so much to say. So I'd like to give it to yourself. So if anybody wants the copy, it's 2 hours long. The DVD is 2 hours long, and there's loads of tips and scenarios in there as well. I'm also launching a 12-week course now called I Can Find You the Right Man course. I ran a seminar like this in October where it's a 12-week plan. So each week you have tasks to do to lead you to how you can find and attract him. It's going to be online. So you can access it online, you can access it as a CD or an MP3, or you can have it as a DVD set as well. So all I need you to do is, it's here, please take these with you, go to the website and register. I'm having a free training webinar where I'm going to be going over this for about an hour and a half, and you'll be notified of when that's going to be. Who knows what a webinar is? Everybody knows what a webinar is? Okay, no problem. Thank you, see you later.
Thank you.
And that's the end of the session. Actually, let me give you